Well, you love art. Maybe you'll find a happy memory in here.
Great.
Have you ever watched SpongeBob and got creeped out so badly? Well, today we're finally breaking down the weirdest and creepiest SpongeBob episode ever made, and trust me, it's worth watching. The episode Are You Happy Now from Season 8 of SpongeBob SquarePants is remembered as one of the darkest and most unsettling episodes in the entire series. The story begins in the Krusty Krab, where SpongeBob is putting up a display board called the Happiest Memory Board. It's filled with photographs of SpongeBob's own happiest moments. He's excited and full of energy as usual. But when Squidward notices the board, he suddenly looks empty and detached. SpongeBob asks Squidward to add one of his happiest memories to the wall. But Squidward quietly admits that he doesn't have one. The moment is uncomfortable, because for a kid's cartoon, the show is suddenly exploring an adult and deeply personal issue: depression.
This.
Why, it's my happy book. The Krusty Krab is where all of my happiest memories occurred.
From this point, the episode becomes darker than the usual lighthearted tone of SpongeBob. SpongeBob immediately takes on the role of trying to help Squidward create a happy memory. What a great friend he is, I must say. I wish I had someone like him. But never mind that. He tries everything he can think of, starting with simple fun activities.
SpongeBob's SquarePants!
They go out to a carnival, but Squidward is unimpressed and miserable through all of it. SpongeBob then tries more creative ways, like building crafts, playing games, and even pulling silly stunts. None of it works. Each attempt only makes Squidward more frustrated and visibly broken. The humor feels off, because unlike most episodes where Squidward's annoyance is played for laughs, this one shows him truly unhappy. The comedy is mixed with unsettling silence and uncomfortable close-ups that make the viewer feel Squidward's emptiness.
That was a sour note.
This is not my happiest memory.
The darkest part of the episode comes in a short montage that has since become infamous among fans. After failing to create a happy memory, Squidward goes home. The scene cuts to him sitting in his house, staring at the ceiling with a blank look. He lies in bed under his covers, completely hopeless. The most disturbing moment is when Squidward takes out a noose. In the aired version, Nickelodeon cut this out in some regions, but the original version showed him actually preparing to hang himself.
You love music, right, Squidward? Then this'll definitely be your happiest memory.
Even without the scene being fully explicit, the context is clear. The writers implied Squidward was contemplating suicide. For a children's show, this is shocking. It's not played as a joke, but it isn't given serious commentary either, leaving it as an awkward and heavy moment that many viewers found extremely creepy. After this, SpongeBob continues to push Squidward to try again. He takes him to a restaurant and even arranges for different activities. But the emptiness continues. Squidward becomes more hostile and hopeless. The entire time, SpongeBob's cheerful energy clashes with Squidward's depression, making it even more uncomfortable to watch. Many fans later said this episode felt more like a dark adult cartoon than SpongeBob. The writing seemed to reflect real struggles with unhappiness and mental health, topics rarely handled in children's programming. The tone is what makes the episode so disturbing. It's not just one scene, but the entire story dragging the viewer into Squidward's hopelessness.
Yeah.
And now, the performance artist Fiasco will say a few words about this piece.
Gosh, I can't believe it. I think this might be it.
Your happiest memory?
Finally, near the end of the episode, SpongeBob tries one last thing. He takes Squidward to a restaurant called the Krusty Towers, where they serve food in a ridiculous over-the-top fashion. SpongeBob encourages Squidward to do something wild, so Squidward suddenly bursts into a scene where he eats an entire plate of food messily and laughs maniacally.
And now he's melted it.
The camera zooms in on Squidward's face, which looks twisted and unsettling. Takes a picture of that moment and declares it his happiest memory. Instead of being a genuinely heartwarming ending, it feels forced and eerie. Squidward's happiest moment is basically him breaking down into madness. Fans found this ending depressing and strange because it suggested Squidward could only find joy in a disturbing outburst, not in any real-life experience. Now, why is this episode considered so creepy? First, it's the tone. Unlike other dark episodes of SpongeBob, Are You Happy Now? It doesn't have a funny balance. It lingers too long on Squidward's sadness, showing him hopeless in his house and unable to find joy in anything.
What a majestic view.
What view?
Oh yeah, I forgot about your blindfold.
For kids, it's confusing. For adults, it hits too close to real depression. Second, the suicide scene made it infamous. Even though it was censored in some versions, the fact that it was animated and originally intended for broadcast makes it one of the most shocking moments in Nickelodeon history. Third, the ending isn't satisfying. Instead of Squidward finding real happiness, the writers ended it with a manic and unsettling picture, which made it worse. When fans discussed the episode online, theories started to emerge. One of the most common fan theories is that the writers were trying to send a hidden message about depression. Many believe that Squidward represents the adult viewers of SpongeBob. While SpongeBob is the symbol of childlike joy, Squidward is the adult who lost touch with happiness and can't find meaning.
Except that I'm afraid of heights!
The episode may have been a commentary on how adults sometimes struggle to enjoy life, even when surrounded by people trying to cheer them up. This would explain why SpongeBob can't help him. Depression isn't something solved by forcing happiness, but by deeper healing that the show never addressed. Another theory fans discussed is that the episode was written during a low point for the SpongeBob writers themselves. Around season 8, many critics said the show had lost its original charm after the first movie, and the writers may have been dealing with creative burnout. The darker episodes like Are You Happy Now? And others seem to reflect that. It felt like the creators were projecting their own struggles into Squidward's character, making the episode darker than intended. This would explain why it feels so raw and out of place in a comedy show. There's also a theory about why the episode was allowed to air despite the disturbing content. Some fans believe Nickelodeon overlooked the suicide implication because it was subtle enough for children not to notice, but obvious enough for adults to catch.
Oh boy.
This made it a hidden adult message within a kid's cartoon, something SpongeBob occasionally did in other episodes but never as directly. For children, it may have seemed like Squidward was just upset, but for adults, it was clear what was happening. This dual meaning is part of what makes the episode so creepy and memorable. When looking at the truth, the episode's creepiness doesn't come from hidden ghosts or secret lost footage like Red Mist or Squidward's suicide creepypasta. It comes from the reality of what was shown on screen. Squidward's hopelessness, his attempt to end his life, and his disturbing version of happiness are all real elements of the episode. Unlike made-up creepypastas, this one is unsettling precisely because it's canon. Nickelodeon really aired it. It was seen by millions of kids, and its legacy continues because people still debate why it was made and how it passed approval.
Not a happiest memory.
It's kind of smoky in here.
Now we reach the conclusion that this episode is not just creepy, but also depressing because it offers no real solution. Squidward doesn't actually become happy. He fakes it through an outburst, and SpongeBob considers it a success. The episode ends with Squidward still empty, and the viewer left uncomfortable. This is why it's considered one of the darkest episodes in the SpongeBob series. It's not like Graveyard Shift or Nasty Patty, which are creepy but funny. This one feels real, heavy, and unresolved. That's why years later, it's still discussed, still remembered, and still ranked as SpongeBob's creepiest official episode.